podcast. So today we are diving into the relationship between the energy of Aries, the first of the fire signs, and the energy of Libra, which is its counterpart or counterbalance energy.
Well, once upon a time, Vila and I were contemplating the intelligent design of the universe. And, we were talking about how do we move through into a new way of doing things? Because personally, we were both experiencing a lot of friction in our lives where the old ways were needing to be reevaluated and looking at, okay, what is the new way forward? And within that conversation, we were talking about astrology and the archetypes specifically of the zodiac, and what those energies represent. And we realized, that how beautiful the design is, that every full moon is in a sign that is opposite of the sign that the sun is in for that cycle. So we realize that there is this beautiful access points, all of these beautiful access points to deeper understanding of ourselves.
Yes.
And so that's where we decided to embark on this journey of the cosmic conduit and the exploration of these archetypes and how we can use them for our benefit to navigate our way through the new paradigm.
I love it. I love it. And I love that you brought in that navigating our way through the new paradigm, because one of the other things that Vanessa and I sort of contemplated quite significantly over the last year and some is how much we are all being impacted by these archetypal energies, right? The astrological forces, the cycle of the moon, the cycle of the sun, the archetypes that exist as part of the zodiacal wheel that kind of governs and really lays this template for the journey of the soul on a regular basis, right? We go through this journey, we go through this cycle, yes, once a year, as part of the journey of the sun around, through the zodiacal houses, but also the moon travels through each of the zodiacal signs on every month. And then we also, as the earth is turning its axis every 24 hours, we're also moving through these signs. So we all have a relationship to these energies every day, every month, every year. And so, as Vanessa and I were contemplating this, it was like, wow, how much better could we do in our day-to-day lives if we were really harnessing these energies and doing it in a way that was really graceful and beautiful. And that's really kind of what the new paradigm energy has been calling us forward to make happen. And that's really kind of the basis and the crux for what this cosmic conduit work is all about.
Well, the whole journey that you're talking about, this journey of the soul, where does it begin?
So we're starting right here in the sign of Aries. There it is. Can you see it? Whoop, whoop, whoop. And so that is the kickoff of the wheel, the zodiacal wheel. And then, as Vanessa was mentioning, so what happens each month as the sun moves through all the signs, right, over the course of the year, the moon is making its cycle, and it's doing it at a different pacing that then oftentimes is going to bring forth the energy of this counterbalance. So here we have, it's a little bit hard to see, but this is the sign of Libra. And it is the counterbalance energy of Aries. So Aries is the cardinal fire sign, and Libra is the cardinal air sign. And so these two balance each other out in the world of the elements. So the air and the fire work together, and not as like opposites. They're more like counterpoints. So that there's a distinction there, because if we were doing opposites, we'd have like fire and water, right? But what we actually have is fire and air. And so one of the ways that we've been working with understanding these energies is through what we call these new paradigm archetypal anchors. So Vanessa, would you like to tell everyone what we have as our archetypal anchors for Aries and for Libra?
Yes, absolutely. These two are very dear and near to me. Aries is aligned action, and Libra is collaborative harmony. And for me, I love both of those essences, those archetypes, because they're part of my chart. So, like I was saying earlier, we're not talking about astrology as, people's charts and all of these things, but you will notice that some of the archetypes are going to feel more familiar to you because they are part of you. But that's not to say that all 12 of the archetypes, we have access to them. And so that's exactly the work that we're doing, is learning to access, to apply, to use the energies that are available to us throughout the entire year, regardless of your astrology chart. So in the first two, we have the Aries, the sign of Aries, which is really all about like movement, forward, initiation, beginnings, force. What else would you say is
Really
the energy of
charging
Aries?
forward, like that will to the drive to make things happen. Aries has a lot of like force going forward, very creative, like you said, initiative, and fiery, you don't want to get in an Aries way. They're just going to make things happen. So a lot of creative force in that way, but also a lot of sometimes tunnel vision. So part of what, as we do these counterpart energies, we're looking at how these two signs, or how these two different archetypes balance each other out. And so with Aries, it's easy to kind of have that tunnel vision and just only see one perspective, or like it's this way, or the high, like, or no way. And so whereas Libra in many ways is kind of the opposite perspective, right? It's like, okay, we're gonna expand the viewfinder. We're gonna look from multiple perspectives. We're gonna see, like, okay, is this pathway actually the best one to get us where we want to go? And so that collaborative harmony as the value, as the essence of that Libra energy, and how it can be in its highest expression, is that Libra is going to be looking, be elevating, or really prioritizing a harmonious expression, and then that collaborative energy coming in together to bring about that harmony. And so it's a perfect counterbalance for that Aries, like, which tends to be a little bit more self-oriented, self-focused, self-involved, self-referenced. And so to have Libra, really looking at more of that collective perspective is hugely important for that counterbalance.
Right. Well, I was going to say that one of the shadow aspects of Aries is selfish. You said self-centered, self-driven, self-motivated, but like it can also be selfish. And
Yeah.
the one directional vision, not thinking about other people. So this is an axis that's pretty easy to understand or access. I think for most people, I hope so. Like, let us know in the comments, or let us know if you have any comments on whether the Aries Libra balance and counterpoint makes sense to you. But definitely, going forward, how is this balance, or these archetypal anchors, how are those things going to help us moving forward in a new paradigm as leaders and as way showers and trailblazers? What's your thoughts on that, Vila?
Well, so, one of the things that I just love about this model, this cosmic conduit, as it's really a distilling, right? It's distilling down of what are these frequencies? What are these, these energies that we just want to nail with these different archetypes? So, anytime we encounter Aries, then it's like, okay, what we want to nail with that Aries energy is aligned action, because Aries is like, yes, we want to take action. We want to have that forcefulness, that cardinal fire energy of Aries really help us move through stuff and cross those, that breaking point. It's also, it's the energy of spring, the shoots coming up from the earth, right? It's that bursting forth. We want that for Aries, but we want to be doing it in a way that's aligned. So to really hit that higher frequency energy is to always come back to aligned action for Aries. And then with Libra, there's so many places where Libra as an air sign can kind of get maybe a little bit flighty or a little bit too far out, or just distracted by too many possibilities. And so by really focusing on the harmony, the collaborative harmony, that it's like, yes, we're going to be working together, but we're going to be working together with each piece, each individual really bringing the best they have to offer. That's what that collaborative harmony is, and holding that as again, as that goal, as that highest expression for what we want every time we come around to the Libra energy.
That's so good. And as you're speaking, I'm just imagining what the world would look like when we really have embodied and anchored these new ways of being. And, I spoke in the previous episode about what the new paradigm is. And we actually cannot move forward from the old ways that we were living. And a lot of that looked like, coming from like an ego-driven place or negative ego place where it's limited. It's like only thinking about oneself rather than the collective. And so that is really like the brilliance of this particular axis, is like we can look out for ourselves and have our own, drives, our own ambitions, because that is another quality of Aries, is like being ambitious and having a drive to go forward and initiate something that you desire. And we can have those desires, and can it be also like aligned with the highest good, aligned in a way that it's not harming other people, that it's not harming, the collective. So, these checks and balances that you're talking about are showing us the higher way, like a different way that we can see things from an expanded perspective.
Yes, and they're also giving us the keys really for getting past our own stopping places. So, one of the examples I've used before, and, as we come to our deeper, dive with the cosmic conduit work. So Vanessa and I are leading an ongoing membership group focused on doing this deep dive work with these archetypal anchors. And so in our, our last gathering, I was using this example of where, I don't actually have a lot of Aries in my chart. And Libra is my sun sign. So it's an energy that's very familiar to me. And actually I've got a ton of Libra energy all over my chart. So it's something I'm very familiar with. And so what's brilliant about this counterpart axis that Vanessa was just mentioning is that, for me, I actually need to bring more Aries energy in to help kind of keep me from getting a little too wound up in all of my Libra. And so for me, I actually have the part where instead of tending to act maybe even impulsively, or some of the things that can be the shadow side of Aries on that side, I've got the opposite issue, which is where maybe I don't act fast enough. I don't act soon enough. I withdraw too much into, well, maybe this, or what about this, or what about, I have to see everybody's perspective and look at it from a million different perspectives. Or, like my kids like to make fun of me when I go shopping. I can't for the life of me just like make a decision right then and there. I have to think about it a lot and go home and take pictures. And so for me, that aligned action, as holding that as the true expression, and just knowing, like resting into that Libra side of it to counterbalance, like, okay, I've worked to bring that harmony into myself through my daily practices, through, all of this that we're talking about as the cosmic conduit work. I've worked on myself as the instrument of harmony, so that when it comes time to take action, I can trust that I'm there, I'm aligned, I'm ready to go. I don't need to again stop and think again and check again, and because I've already done that work. I've already gotten myself aligned, and I can allow that flow and that energy of Aries to really carry me to where I want to go, in a given day, in a given moment, to a given outcome.
Right. So it's allowing us to overcome certain shadows or certain patterns that have stopped
Exactly.
us, because we really need to be more efficient with our time, with our energy. We don't want to really waste, because we want, we want to live in a way that's aligned and it's sustainable.
Yeah. The other thing that I will just highlight here for a quick second is the fact that, harmony does arrive through action. You don't get to harmony through nothing, right? Like,
Hmm.
harmony is an active, is the result of an active state of being, right? So whether we're talking about musical harmony, whether we're talking about, the collaborative harmony from the sense of people working together, it comes as a result of action being taken. And so that is that aligned action of Aries bringing about that collaborative harmony of Libra, and vice versa. Then that collaborative harmony of Libra, so being harmonized within the self and within your own value system and within your own priorities and within your own life, being harmonized at that level to then take the actions that are there from the Aries side of the equation.
So 6 months from now, we're going to be flipped. So
Yes.
the sun is going to be the sun's going to be in Libra, and then the
Right.
moon will be in Aries. So it'll be really interesting 6 months from now to experience how that's flipped, because we are talking about these energies and their archetypes and how they counterpoint each other. But when we get to that side of the wheel, the energies are going to be shifted, because it's going to be the sun that will be in Libra. So it'll be really interesting to see that dynamic, and also like what more is revealed in those areas.
Yeah. And in the meantime, we're gonna be moving through all the rest of these, right? So we've got Taurus and Gemini and Cancer and Leo and Virgo. And then by the time we get to Libra, we will have hit all six of the axes, all of them. Because there's the 6 times 2 makes the 12. And so we're gonna go from cardinal signs to fixed signs to mutable signs, and then to our next set of cardinal, where we'll hit with Cancer and Capricorn. We're going to hit our cardinal earth and water signs. So we'll get to really feel the balance on so many levels. So it's so exciting. I get so giddy about all this, because this cosmic conduit, like you were saying at the beginning, Vanessa, it's really teasing out these intelligences that exist, that are embedded in the design of the universe, right? And so it's us just kind of waking up and paying attention at a new level, so that we can do better in our daily lives. We can have greater ease, greater flow, greater mastery, that these forces are at play all the time. So why not work with them in a way that really supports us?
Right. Well, they are us. Like the archetypes are embedded into our psyche. Like they're part of us. So why not embrace them and turn them on, so that we can keep moving in the direction of the new paradigm? And we've talked a lot about the new paradigm. We will keep talking about it. But, in this transition period, it can be a little bumpy ride. But, on the other side of that, I just want to, like, for our listeners, and I just want to remind you that on the other side of that is a vision of peace. It's a vision of bliss. It's a vision of harmony, of prosperity, of unity on the planet. And, if we look at what's going on in the world today, that is so much needed. A
Yes.
way forward, a different way of being.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love it. And, if that sounds a little daunting or overwhelming, never fear. That's why we're here. Literally, that's why we're here. Vanessa and I have created this community. So the Cosmic Conduit, we have actually an ongoing community online. It's a membership program through our online network where we meet on a regular basis to dive into this, and not meeting just from this sort of conversational style of things, which we will continue to do and tease out and learn and chew on and discuss and engage. But we actually go to work. We actually go to work working with the elements. We go to work working with the energies. We go to work using the energies of the full moon in a guided self-ceremony process. So we gather as community and we have an experience together. We do alchemy together. We do elemental magic together so that we can put these forces into action for ourselves in our lives. And we get to do it together. We get to learn together and grow together and start living that beautiful vision that Vanessa was just speaking to, that peace on earth that we're all wanting. We can actually start modeling that and being the example of it to come.
You don't have to do it alone. We can guide you through this process. We can hold the space for you to connect with and to access and to embody the energies that are here for us. So that is really what our, the Cosmic Conduit is about. It's about doing that, like Vila said, together. And we can hold the space for you, and you don't have to do it alone. Is what I really want to drive that home, because it can be really lonely, on the edge of so much changing, and perhaps you're changing faster than the people around you. And community is a really great place to find reflection and support in that, because we're going forward regardless of whether we're going to drag the people kicking and screaming into a new world. So please join us. Follow us here. Follow our podcast. We're going to be having new episodes on a regular basis. If you want to do a deeper dive, please join our online network. You can find the link here to join the University for the Soul network. And in that inside is the Cosmic Conduit membership group, where we meet on a regular basis to really engage these energies. We'd absolutely love to have you as a part of what we're doing, and to be one of the trailblazers, one of the path makers that's making this new paradigm a reality, and finding the way forward. So thank you so much for listening. We've got more coming soon. Anything you want to say in close, Vanessa? Don't forget to subscribe, and we would love to have you and work with us more in our community, and see you soon.